supposed to whatever. It's supposed to be you go through this, you experience it, you get your lesson out of it, and you move on. You know what I'm saying? So you can be instrumental in helping other people cross that bridge. You know, because it's people that's totally they're clueless. They're unaware. Like, man, like me and you up.
Mm-hmm.
And when you finally reveal it, once you finally get, it's like T.D. Jakes said. It's like saying, hey, they give me bread away over there, yeah. Come go get your bread.
Yeah.
I figured out where the bread at.
Mm-hmm.
Come get you to, hey, they get, hey, you something. We got some niggas that's gonna get this slice of bread, they gonna get their loaf of bread, and go ahead and tell that shit.
I know that's right. Listen, you know how life goes. You know how situation goes. You know how. You know why I can say you know how?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know you know. Because I see them scars. I see them war wounds. I seen them tears. Seen the heartache. I saw the near crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I saw the near lost my mind. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm able to say I know you know because I saw you. You know, sometimes it take a witness to make a confirmation in your life. Be like, I saw that. I saw you tripping. I saw you doing this. I saw you doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And be like, you saw me, man. After you had that realization, somebody else can explain to you, yeah, I was right there with you, nigga. I seen it. I told you so. I had a nigga tell me that shit. No, I'm
He
serious.
was right.
Yeah, yeah, you was right. Yeah, you was right. That's what made me so mad. That's the hardest thing I think you can ever deal with in life was when you know they was right and you know that you was wrong. It's different when
But you wasn't wrong.
I know, but you at the time you was wrong because you didn't believe they was right. You was like, man, you tripping, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how we could take the voice out of this because I'm looking real crazy right now, but I'm still about to go live.
People don't people don't see that. I don't know what you're looking at.
I'm doing a live on YouTube.
I mean, people don't see you as looking crazy.
Hey y'all, Carrie McVeigh. Y'all can't really see me. We eating some fried chicken and watermelon. They're gonna talk about us bad.
Hey, y'all.
We traders. um, we're at the house today, chilling, thinking about things, thinking about we supposed to be podcasting and connecting with you guys. Not even casting, just connecting with you guys and staying in contact with you guys. And of course, I'm Allison Allison.
And I'm Carrie McVeigh. Carrie singing. Carrie singing love.
And we out here talking about the love.
Right.
And we had so much stuff written down to talk about and interact about. And somehow just now when I was setting this up, I ended up saying you were right. And we're going to kind of talk about the you were right moments when people that love you talk to you and counsel you and consistently try to help you out of a place that you had to be, not only for you to find out that what they were saying was true, and they saw it, but you didn't, and it hurts because you know that it's not about a right or wrong, it's about a love situation, and we don't want to be seen as that. We don't want to feel inferior or wrong, or because you say you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. I've been through it before, and you be like, nah, I'm good, I'm different, I can handle this, and then you fall on your face. But it's always good to have that love, that same person that told you, I told you this is gonna happen, to be there to pick you up, to walk you out, to guide you and lead you.
Yeah, excuse me. And on that note, a lot of times, we go through experiences in life that from when we ask people, hey, what you think about this, or can you give me a different perspective? And even when the person gives you that perspective, it's like you go to a person, you already did the math, and you say, hey man, can I want to use your judgment. I mean, I trust that I can just ask you, because I know you'll give me a honest answer. And I think a lot of times we just look for we want somebody to be real and not judge us or whatever. You know what I mean? And you know who is who. And so when you ask somebody to give you an assessment and tell you what they think about something, I think we all go inside ourselves and we say, hey, you know what? Well, does this cause joy or pain? Is this gonna cause you, is this gonna make you happier or sadder, in the long run? Or, what do I see in this? What's the pros and cons, the benefits or whatever? And and I think that's the aim we come from. It's not really, whether somebody hating on you or, don't want to see you successful. It's like, or want to see you happy. It's like they really want to know. They do the math in their mind. They say, well, let me see, really, is this gonna cause you joy or pain? You know what I mean? And so when they come from that angle, then I think, and they give you a perspective, and when you look at what they said, and you say, okay, man, let me do the math on it, and if you see it or not yet. Some people you can write a problem on the board, and some people come up with the solution faster than others. Everybody don't come up with the solution at the same time, and so because that happens, then we have people that come up with the answer real quick and say, that was 2 plus 2 is 4. You got some people still counting on their hands, and and there's nothing wrong with that, especially if they come up with 4. No matter where you come up with it today or tomorrow, now or never. I mean, if you never come up with it, then of course we'd have to, maybe you looking at it different. I don't know. But when you come up with 2 plus 2 is 4, you're like, okay, well, I finally got it. I got the answer, and this person who came up with it quicker than me, but it don't make me, you know, less smarter or less able to do the math on it. It just means I put the numbers in my head. I did the math the way I did in my head quicker, and I came up with the answer. So I said that to say, when you ask me to, from my perspective, is this gonna cause me joy or pain? And I do the math, and I say, man, I think this is gonna cause you, joy or pain based on what I can see and the information that you've given me. So I think that's what you know. When she was talking about um, somebody, being able to tell her, something they seen it. That's what I kind of got distracted. The phone kind of threw me off. But, yeah. So I think that's what you were saying. Pretty much as far as being able to see before and somebody telling you, okay, yeah, I seen that.
I seen it coming.
Yeah, and I didn't want you to go through that, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? But by the same token, it's good. It's good for everybody.
From what perspective, though, is it good?
Well, it's good because number one, seeing and sawing. When you see and then you was able to tell somebody, hey man, the bridge is out. Don't go down that road. I've been down that road. I was going 100 miles an hour down the road, and I did what you about to do. and and if they listen and they say, hey, you know what? No, I ain't gonna go. I'll take your word for it. Cool, thank you. And they don't go, that's great. But if they do the same thing and you already know, hey man, this is the pain you finna go through. I just went through it. I mean, I'm still in crutches. On crutches. It's like, hey, I don't want you to wreck your car. I don't want you to, really go through that. So that's the good part in it.
Yeah. I can see that because I think another thing that I can draw from it is the person that's actually telling you, look, hold up, slow down, put your seatbelt on. Got a curb right there. they actually get the confirmation that they passed their test because they now recognize something that they went through and what was hard for them. They experienced this. And I don't think an experience like that, I told you so type moments, that I don't think that's a thing, something to be proud of, you know?
Right.
I think it's something that can be helpful. And I think it's something that can be, um, I guess you can say it's congratulatory to the person who's passed that test, who's able to pass that testimony on, even if you take heed or not, which is only their job to tell you. You're responsible for the rest. They're responsible if they don't say anything.
Exactly. And you know what? And that brings up a solid point. Um, I think a lot of times we quiet when we shouldn't be. I think we should speak up at times and say the hardest thing that there is to say to a person. When we really care. I mean, if you really call yourself a friend, I mean, a real friend.
Yeah,
It's like, hey man, yeah, don't be scared to tell your friend, hey man, you know what? Look, man, that ain't no good decision.
We don't want to hurt our loved ones' feelings, though. That's where we become passive, and we can see them going down the wrong road, and we love them so much that we love them to death.
Yep. But it's like my grandmama told me.
Hey, Grandma.
Care, when you go down that road, it's grandma can't do nothing but cry. If you get caught up, and so with that being the case, grandma don't want to see you go down that road. So that's why grandma, I'm trying to tell you what I'm trying to tell you. And I didn't listen. I thought grandma was a hater, and the fact that I didn't listen, led me to, and she was hurting the whole time because she knew I was headed down that road, and she was like, hey man, I really don't want you to go down that road, and so because she knew the pain that was gonna cause me and her, and everybody else that we was associated and connected with. So with all that being said, yeah, people can see and they don't want nothing to happen to you in life that's gonna really harm you, and they ain't patting themselves on the back and saying, hey, I'm good.
Really?
So, uh,
um, I don't think that the pat on the back is what they're looking for, like you say. I don't think it's the pat on the back. I think it's the whole overall. They get like, man, when people say I told you so, sometimes it's not meant to hurt. It's meant to they get this deep spiritual man, Lord, you showed me the right way this time. Again, you helped me. Or if it's personal, saying, man, I knew I wasn't wrong. Sometimes you have to be able to um, take credit. It's not bad to take credit. Of course, God gets the glory, but you got to take credit sometime for the things that you've been through and the things that you're able to share with other people. You can take credit because you went through that journey. You went on that battle. You was the one standing in the need of prayer. You was the one on your face crying. You was the one that somebody else said the same words to you and you didn't understand it or see it. But at the same time, you have to be able to say, thank you, Jesus. I made it through it. I made it. I made it. I made it. I made it through a hard journey. I made it through this task, and I'm able to help somebody else, help somebody else, help somebody else, because it's always a gift that passes on.
And
that was real slick.
Yeah. Well, I know y'all want to see it. I hadn't seen it yet. And so, what I want to tell you is, what she said was, it's not congratulations or whatever, but it is really growth. It is really good when you see how much a person grew in the situation. You grow because you really are proud that they made it through. You know what I mean? And if they got a chance to really see what it is you had already saw, and they know how to do the math now and solve the problems quicker or whatever. So it's like they come up with solutions and able to see, and I think that's what it's all about. It's all about just helping, looking out for one another. Nah, but yeah,
Trying to catch me up, man.
nah,
See? I told you
nah, and
so.
you know, it's just it's funny because no, the bathroom right here,
Yeah,
and so
nobody
it's like
going in
I don't
there.
I moved the computer because I don't want nobody
You
going to
in
the
the
bathroom, but
basement,
yeah,
yeah.
ain't nobody privacy. So that's kind of what's the distraction.
Slid that one on me
Yeah,
real quick,
it's
y'all.
it's like that's what that was about.
Lord,
I
no
wasn't,
shepherd. Y'all know what I
I
want.
wasn't trying to, I wasn't trying to put you under the gun. But yeah, man, we just come here live, man. We kicked it, and we just wanted to. You was vibing, and we wanted a whole lot of people to get what we got. You know, it took a minute to come to self and really get real with ourselves. You know,
Yeah.
and and I think when you get real with yourself, you know, a lot of people want to know how you do it. You know, how you get in that ugly mirror and tell yourself the truth. You know how you
I've
deal
been
with
there.
the how you make the adjustments, how you make the transition. If you used to be a liar, you lied to yourself and everybody that you came in contact with,
Mm-hmm.
and you decide you don't want to do that no more. You want to just say, man, you done caused too much heartache and pain, and
And you're going to get that wolf syndrome off
yeah,
your name.
it's like you want to
Prideful.
change it now. You want to have a good name, a God name now. You know, you been running around crying wolf, and if something happened, you want people to believe you now. So.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I think when you get to that point in your life, you know, I really believe you get in the mirror, and and that's where we at. You know, we saying, hey man, you know, it's a process. It ain't just overnight. It ain't something you do in a sitting. You know, you really have to process it. And going through the process of that, you know, is really the hard thing, the hardship involved, with it. So
Well, he gonna flip that camera
yeah,
around right there.
I will let her
So,
give you some perspective.
just know that this is a natural setting, and there's no makeup involved right now with me. Carrie don't have no makeup on either.
We're the model.
We the models.
Yeah,
Look, my hair is all down, and the
yeah,
dog is running around. The children are also, but this is home, and this is the natural setting where we talk about things that most people don't want to talk about on camera, and we do it in a natural way. You know, next week I might have on a wig about it, but whatever. Just can't. But we've been through a lot, and what we've been through is not for us. Of course, it helped us, and the knowledge we retained associated with it, but at the same time, it's to talk to everyday people just like you and I. We are the models not because we have on makeup and shoes and clothes. We are the models because we have experiences that you all or have experienced, and some will experience and some are experiencing at the current time.
exactly. And I'm glad she said that because a lot of times we go get the makeovers on the outside and we look good on the outside, but
Looking dainty as hell.
yeah, but on the inside, that's where we really need the makeover. And
Mm-hmm.
so we talk about the study of self. We talk about getting to that point where, like I say, you can't really get real and say, "Hey, man, you know what? I really am a flawed individual, and I really want to be better, and I really want to assess some of my flaws, and I'm willing to, I'm open. I'm saying, hey, can you see some of the flaws that I got, and can you help me, identify them? Because I think sometimes we don't see, we have blind spots, and we hear it in the house, in the homes. You know what I'm saying? And
We don't take
sometimes,
responsibility.
yeah, we don't take ownership, and sometimes I think it's the delivery. You know,
You're right.
sometimes we get it wrong, and because we don't know how to receive that or digest it, then we're that's where the problem comes in at. So that's kind of what we're breaking down, and the family, because I believe everything started with Adam and Eve, in the house, and then there was a
Yeah.
family type deal, and I think if you don't take care of home, and if you don't go back and study yourself, you can't take care of home,
And and they say it's a role abandonment where the man no, role reversal. They're saying that it's role reversal. It's not role reversal because a man can't be a woman and a woman can't be a man. I don't care what the situation. It's role abandonment where they say I'm tired. I'm tired of being a man. I'm tired of being a woman. I'm tired of being a man. At the same time, they are tired of the responsibilities. Men have it hard. Women have it hard. We all got different curses associated with who we are because of the fall in
hmm
the beginning.
And can you talk about the women's curse a little bit? I mean, I'm the fact that you brought that up, I think that's a great topic.
One of the curses that a woman will have is um, bearing a child. Will be hard. She will have labor, hard labor. And most people think that that hard labor is just associated with having the child and the expelling the child, as you would say, out of your womb. But hard labor is associated with the rearing of the child. Period. Period. From the very beginning of the birth, and even in the women get morning sickness. They got some women that are blessed with the pleasures of not having one drop of sickness when they're pregnant. But a lot of us, and I've been pregnant 9 times, and I don't tell my business, I tell it myself. I've had 9 children. 2 were miscarriages when I was younger and one when I was older. And I have 7 that are alive. Thank you, Jesus, that they are still alive, because I went through some harsh times and hard times when I was pregnant. But the problem is the curse is associated with the rearing of the children, the bearing of the children, giving them from the infancy all the way from the conception. We're going to have issues. And nowadays it's more prevalent and more, you can see it more now than ever, that these children are going against their parents, killing their mothers and fathers, not even so much the fathers, but we're talking about the woman's side, a nurturer that's had you there since birth, that you were capable of killing or disrespecting or treating harshly, not understanding that she was already cursed. She don't need no help. Excuse me. She didn't need any help with the troubles and the burdens of carrying a child. That's why the commandments tell us to make sure that we love and respect those parents, because they already got a curse on them.
Right.
That's going to give them hard times and trials, troubles, and tribulations, just keeping you alive. Just keeping you out of the pen. If you don't go, if you go, it's going to be hard on a mother. It's also the desires of her heart is going to be her husband. She always going to want a man. Everything going to be about a man. It's a man, it's a man, it's a man, it's a man. I don't care how many husbands. I don't care how many men. She always going to desire man. That's one of the curses. So when you see women chasing you, talking about she's sad, no, that's her natural reaction. She's cursed to do that. She's naturally cursed to chase behind her man and get up in women's face and fight for what she wants, because she's always worried about what? Her man. The desire of her heart, her whole desire is going to be her husband. Can't even take care of the children because she's down at that strip club trying to get a dude out. Children at home sitting on by themselves. And I'll be right back, babies. I'm going to get your daddy. I'm going to get somebody daddy shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't make me cuss. I'm trying to. I'm going to get the Keisha and them daddy, even though me and him together, that's their daddy and ain't y'all daddy, but you understand. Right. It's going to be the desire of her heart behind that man. She always going to desire him. And I mean, this is my understanding. If you have issues, comments, or things you want to add, go ahead on and throw it in the comments at the bottom. We love you. We don't care what you say, as long as you say something.
Right. And, you know, and with that be, you know, and I'm glad you said that, because I think, you know, we all understand that a man is cursed because the seed of the woman, the male seed, right?
Okay, Jay.
And so, yeah, it's like, man, yeah, it's like, you know, we cursed, and it's like, man, and death. I mean, we dying. I mean, they killing us.
Everything you get gonna be by the sweat of your brow.
Right.
If you don't work for it, it won't mean nothing.
Exactly.
If you don't work hard for it, at least.
And spiritually, you know, I think men are spiritually dying like by the numbers, you know, in record numbers. It's like, yeah, even though we physically look strong and alive and well, you know, and look like we got a game face on, you know, but we dead, bro. On the inside, it's like, man, our love is dead. It's like, man, we don't even know. I mean, our hearts, you know, I think in some instances in the household has become
cold and hard.
Yeah, because it's like, man, you know, at least when you used to vibe, you know, you and your woman, you know, at one point in time when y'all first got together, you know, you was really vibing and y'all was really, you know, in a joyful state. And then I think as time progressed, you know, I think when judgment kicks in, when we start judging one another, and we start saying, well, I want I want my dude or I want my woman to look like this or that or why he don't or why she don't do this and that. I think when that type of judgmental behavior kicks in and we stop seeing the goodness and the godness and one another and the love and keep doing the things that made the vibe good and made the atmosphere harmonious. I think when that's gone or when that starts leaving, then that's when the real problem comes in.
The real problem was there from the beginning because the curse was already there before we created.
See?
So the real problem has been there and always will be because there's nothing new under the sun. That's why I say the Bible is not true to some people. Um, I don't care if it's written 200 years ago or 2 million years ago, 2,000 years ago. Guess what? It still talks about the social state of people and how they interact with each other and what they're doing. The Lord talks about it so much. He said, "Love one another." There was an 11th commandment that people don't utilize, and they say it was the same one, but I call it the 11th one because Jesus said, "Above all things, what do you want us to do? Love one another." That was, he said, "But this is the new commandment." That's what he told you. This is the commandment I bring to you. I can read it how you want to read it and bring it back to me. Look, I'm here. I ain't got to defend nothing that don't belong to me. I'm unapologetic, but at the same time, I ain't got to fight for it. It's already written. It was way before me and before my time. So the 11th commandment, as I said, I know I'm something else. Y'all pray for me. Not P-R-A-Y to Jesus Christ, the Most High, not P-R-E-Y. Just know that. I just had to put that out there. Got to be careful who you ask to pray for you. So, so I just,
the predator.
Yeah, P-R-E-Y. This is not the jungle. Look, this is not the jungles of this and that. Regular streets in Houston, they got to be Africa. I done seen real life jungles right around the corner.
That's funny.
So I want you to understand that what we do is so important to one another. I lost my place.
Well, look, like she said, what we do, is we're trying to help each other. That's really transitioning and it's really trying to get back to self-awareness and who am I, what am I on, where art thou, where I'm at, let me see what I got going, because like you said, we once we understand the curse, once we know we spiritually cursed, once we know that, hey man, you know what, we off our game, we dead, it's like how to get back to life, and so I think that's what we on. We like, man, we done realize, man, it's time to get back to life.
We need some living water.
Yeah, it's like, man, hey, we didn't realize, man, we done went through that spiritual death period. We know what it's like to be.
Live?
Right. See, and we know, you got to get your mind renewed, you got to get your spirit renewed. And we get it, and it has to happen right here. And so that's where we at. And so anybody that's ready to transition and they're saying, hey, you know what? Wow. How y'all do that? Or when did you realize it was time, or whatever your questions are, as in terms of that, we're willing to be transparent. We're willing to, open up and share with you, from a character based perspective on the inside, not like I say, when you try to be models on the outside in terms of, impressing you with hats and fashion and this that. Not right now. We come back with that. We got you on that, but we're talking about on the inside because, like I say, if you look good on the outside, you're all attractive, and then you attract people, and you hurting them, and you leaving bodies in the trail. That ain't good, And if you tired of doing that, you don't want to hurt nobody else, and you say, hey man, how do I change? How do I become better? What's wrong with me? But that's where we at. We just say, hey man, join the club. We're real. It's okay to be real. It's okay to say, hey, you got feelings. It's okay to say, hey, man, that you messed up. It's okay to say, hey, man, I done had my character assist and I see, some of what they were saying, hey,
assassinated and
assassinated and assist. It's like, hey, man, I done got the whoa, the good and the bad. I done got woo. H-O-U. I done got beat up, coming through. So, when you got it, when you done went through that, and it's like, okay, well, how do I get up? How do I pick myself up? From this and that. It's like, and it could be laid off of work or whatever. not having no money. Sometimes, man, you go through the struggle, and the struggle is the realest thing. That's the best part of it.
How about having everything you need and want and no love?
And no love. And nobody to share that with. And how about dying by yourself? I mean, you done ostracize yourself from everybody.
Spiritual death or just
oh,
dying?
Man, once you spiritually dead,
it's over anyway.
Man,
but can these dry bones live?
See, physical. What? Who wants to be in a coma?
I understand that. I mean, like a vegetative state.
That's what I'm saying. Who wants to live like that?
You surviving on the graces and the mercies of everybody else. That's a coma. That's a vegetative state when you're dependent on everything and everybody but God.
Yeah.
That's a coma. When you're a vegetable just laying there letting people keep you up. I mean, it's a blessing in some cases, but in other cases, think about what it says about you as a human being, about your sources and where you're coming from, because you're only as good as your sources.
And if you don't know yourself, you dead. You dead. It's like if you think you everybody, but you know who you really are.
Can't have that Mike Jones spirit, Mike.
See, that's why God said, "Where art thou? Where art thou? Do you know, man? Man, that's the first thing you need to know where you at. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, because it's like, hey, I might know where you at already, but hey, I might already have that answer. I might already see where you at. I might already see based on your character. And I'd already assisted. I'd already said, hey, this is what I'd have concluded about you. Yeah. I don't care what you say about yourself. This is what I got.
Is that the assassination process?
And it's just, well, how did you present yourself? It's like if you're orange, you're orange. If you're apple, you're apple. You know what I'm saying? If you came out and you said, hey, I'm orange, and I see you apple.
But you know what? Sometimes I feel, like an apple because I like apples, but orange got a better skin.
You see? And so if you don't know,
I'm easy to bruise it from an apple, but I identify with an apple because apple's sweet and nice and texture is nice. But then if you want to be an orange one day, you lose all your apple qualities.
See, and then if you need somebody to tell you whether you're apple or orange, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know. It's like, man, I really ain't never even thought about it, man.
Yeah,
I didn't even, man, hey, help me, man, hey.
They both kind of sweet.
Yeah, come over here, man. Tell me what am I?
Help me do something.
Help me figure this out, man. I'm apple orange. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes we need that. It's real.
And it'd be like, I told you was an apple. Yeah. Be like, I thought I was an orange, though. And that's when I told you. I told you so.
Yep. And it's like having that person that say, hey, man, you know what? Fix your collar.
Oh, there you go.
Fix your collar.
Straighten up, Gip.
And you said, no, I like my collar. I'm good. I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? And then later on, you see the pictures. I'm just a cameraman. I'm just saying, when you see that, when you see the picture of your collar all folded, and you like, man, I thought I was good. Like, man, dang. Now I see what he was saying. I see what she was saying. And I was, so that's what we at. And so I think that's our time.
Inside on this, y'all would see. I'm saying y'all get to know us a little bit better. Watch a little more, you'll understand when he had them pun lines. Some of that stuff, he makes the secrets known to his own. So we have to have this divine language that we're able to speak with one another and not even look at each other and understand what each other's talking about. You can hear it in the tone. Somebody might say something simple and look at that bread and bust out laughing, but that's the language that you speak with that person. That's your love language. Mm-hmm. So it's important to have a love language with one another. Have a love language with God because He's written his. He tells you how He wants you to do it and this and that. I know this is different and I'm pretty much open and basic. Please hold on to your hat, wherever it's at. I think it was in my car. Right. Your love language is just imagine the love making of a man and a woman, and there's certain taps and moves that can assess you to the next whatever. God, and because I compare love making to God and how He loves on us and takes care of us and the activeness of it. It's really strenuous at times, I'm sure, but I don't know His strength. I don't know nothing about God besides what He's written. I don't know Him in that way. He lets us know He's not going to give His playbook to the other team. If He can't trust you, you ain't going to get that revelation and understanding and knowledge that you want or desire sometimes because you want to apply that to knowledge and book smarts. It don't go. The spirit is different.
Right. The corner mind can't understand the things of the flesh.
Okay, so
the spiritual.
He pulling them scriptures out. He don't know where they came from. Hey, Grandma.
No, the spiritual mind don't understand things. It was a corner mine, right?
I don't know. That's not my scripture.
Well, I mean, well,
Mine is
anyway,
he who
what the
dwells in the
thing?
shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty.
Okay, that's
Okay.
what's up.
I mean, that's Psalm 91. It's me.
Well,
That's me.
yeah, well, it's like she was saying, the corner mind. I'm not talking about the corner mind versus spiritual mind, and like she highlighted in all of that was, when we know, where we are, whether we still walking in the carnal state of mind and the spiritual state, then I mean, sometimes we don't, and if we did, we need somebody to help us understand, because I mean, we run around here, we don't have no love, we don't have our love for ourselves, we don't even know who we are, we don't know where we are in life, we don't know what our purpose is, and when you at that point where you get to the question, well, where am I? What's this all about? We've been there, and that's all I'm saying, and that's how I think we're trying to get the point across is that we've been there and we understand that, hey, getting across that bridge is not a it's not an easy path or journey, but it's necessary, and in order to transition into the spiritual state where you can really have joy, love, peace, happiness, and walk in the spirit, and I mean, and really receive the peace and prosperity that comes with just life, the eternal life that we can all have, you know what I mean? But you have to get to that point. You have to, really realize, from a spiritual perspective, what's going on, and so that's kind of what I got, and I don't know if you want to.
I don't know. I'm happy. I'm just happy to be on today. I don't care which state. He said, "Come as you are."
Mm-hmm.
Come as you are don't mean about the clothes that you have on or what you wear, how you look. It literally means about your spiritual state. Be you a murderer, a killer, a person that's wrong or right, a person that is humble or a person that is prideful. It don't matter. Just come as you are. So here I am.
Yeah, we meet you where you at, and we had to meet ourselves where we at, and and it's it's our love, and so it's no judgment. It's just saying, hey man, when you ready to get real, we right here, man.
This real as to get. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you this is real as to get. But I'm very happy. I'm at peace today, because it's following. It says guard your heart. Scripture says guard your heart, and then it says God is He who is in me. I'm assuming He was saying in the heart. I don't know because it didn't make it very specific, but it says keep guard over your heart. But it says the Lord will direct all your paths too. So He said, and then there are other people saying that said follow your heart. Scripture say follow your heart. People say your heart is your first mind. But the heart don't have a mind. Obviously, it's kind of special. It's kind of different. It's a spiritual love that comes from a heart, and a physical. Only the physical can fulfill the mind, but the heart is fulfilled by the spirit of love and care and peace. The mind can tell you what love is, but it can't feel it. But the heart can feel the love, so it's more spiritual. The heart is spiritual, and the mind is knowledgeable, which was physical. The mind is able to relay messages of physical. I touch this and I say I'm touching the computer, but the heart can't touch it. But the heart can desire it. So one is more spiritual. Man, I want a computer, And then this is I'm touching a computer, and the mind accepts that and processes that. So I'm just telling you to get in touch with your spiritual side as well as your physical side, because the spiritual and the physical go hand in hand, if so say.
Yes, I think with that being said, I think that about wraps it up for the day.
Yeah, I think
Winds it
so.
up. So
I think so because I was gone.
we were just glad. Nah, you brought home great points, but I think we're just glad to be back on, and start back podcast. I mean, webcasting,
Yeah.
and just asking you guys to tune in and just join us, man. And we'll grow together.
Okay. Love you guys. This is Allison Allison.
It's Care See You.
All right. Care see you, bro.
Peace. So we can see it. 36 seconds. I think, and I don't know if this can be edited.
I don't know. I'll send it
Because
to you.
I think I seen.
I ain't gonna post it.
Yeah. But at least we get a chance to see.
We just run off the damn mouth. We got other ones. Self versus self love. Those were good too. So you were right. I don't know.
And we just, like I say, we just get back into doing them. You know what
Y'all
I
get
mean?
your food to eat.
Oh, food's ready? Well, what about the tea
The internet.
Yeah,
Me.
yeah.
Y'all can't really see me eating some fried chicken and watermelon. They're gonna talk about us back.
Hey,
That's just really I need
Easy.
some juice. We're at the house today too. Thinking about things. Thinking about we're supposed to be podcasting and connecting with you guys. Not even casting, just connecting with you guys and staying in contact with you guys. And of course, I'm Allison Allison.
I'm not carrying me.
I'm gonna let one of y'all sit right
Okay.
here. Yeah, we're talking about the love.
Right.
And we have so much stuff written down to talk about and interact about. And somehow just when we were, I was setting this up, I ended up saying you were right. And we're going to kind of talk about the you were right moments when people that love you talk to you and comfort you and consist of you out of a place that you had to be. Not only for you to find out that what they were saying was true, and they saw it, but you didn't. And it hurts. Know that it's not about right or wrong. It's about a love situation. And we don't want to be seen as that. We don't want to feel inferior or wrong, or because you say you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. I've been through it before, and you be like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm different. I can handle this," and then you fall on your face. But it's always good to have that love. That same person that told you, "I told you this is gonna happen," to be there to pick you up, to walk you out, to guide you and lead you.
Yeah, excuse me. And on that note,
Get you a couple
a lot of
pieces and come
times,
on out.
you know,
You can get
we
four.
go through experiences in life that from when we ask people, hey, what you think about this, or can you give me a different perspective? Say, hey man, can I want to use your judgment. I mean, I trust that I can just ask you, because I know you'll give me a honest answer. And I think a lot of times we just look for we want some and not judge us or whatever, what I mean, and you know who is who. And so when you ask, somebody to give you what they think about something, I think we all go inside ourselves and we say, hey, you know what? Well, does this cause joy or pain? Is this gonna cause you, is this gonna make you happier or sadder, in the long what do I see in this? What's the pros and cons, the benefits or whatever. And I think that's the aim we come from. It's not really, whether somebody hating on you, want to see you successful, it's like, or want to see you happy. It's like they really want to know. They do the math in their mind. They say, well, let me see, really, is this gonna cause you joy or pain? You know what I mean? And so when they come from that angle,
Don't get that dog none of that.
then I think, and they give you a perspective,
y'all listening to me?
did, and you say, okay, man, let me do the math on it. And if you see it or not yet. Some people you can write a problem on the board, and some people come up with the solution faster than others. Everybody don't come up with a solution at the same time. And so because then we have people that come up with the answer real quick and say, it was 2 + 2 is 4. You got some people still counting on their hands, and and there's nothing wrong with that. They come up with 4. No matter where you come up with it today, tomorrow, now or never. I mean, if you never come up with it, then of course we'd have to, maybe you looking at it different. I don't know, but when you come up with 2 + 4, okay, well, answer. And this person who came up with it quicker than me, but it don't make me, less smarter or less able to do the math on it. It just means I put the numbers in my head. I did the math. I did it in my head quicker, and I came up with the answer. So I said that to say, when when you ask me to, from my perspective, is this gonna cause me joy or pain? And I do the math and I say, man, I think this is gonna cause you, you know, joy or pain based on what I can see and the information you've given me. So I think that's what, you know, when she was talking about um, somebody, being able to tell her, something they seen it. That's what I kind of got distracted before, kind of thought to me
Yeah,
out.
something.
But before, somebody telling you, okay, yeah, I seen that,
You see it coming.
yeah, and I didn't want you to go through that, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? But um, by the same token, for everybody.
From your perspective, though, is it good?
Well, it's good because number one, seeing in songs. When you see able to tell somebody, hey man, the bridge is out. Don't go down that road. I've been down that road. I was going 100 miles an hour down the road, and I did what you about to do. So cool, thank you. And they don't go, that's great. But if they do the same thing and you already know, hey man, this is the pain you finna go through. I just went through it. I mean, I'm still in crutches. On crutches. It's like, hey, I don't want you to wreck your car. I don't want you to, really go through that. So that's the good part of it.
Yeah, I can see that because another I think I draw from it is the person that's actually telling you, look, hold up, slow down, got a curve right there. They actually get the confirmation that they passed their test because they now recognize something that they went through and was hard for them. And I feel like that I told you so type moments that I don't think that's a thing for me to be proud of. I think it's something that can be helpful, and I think it's something that can be you can say discovered to the person who's passed that test, who's able to pass that test with only.
I see. That's when once you know that, once you find that, you know what I'm saying. And that's what I always wonder. I be wondering like, let me tell you what. Let me tell you what I did. Right. So I talked to this girl one day. And she said, Kira, she said, I'm thinking about moving this dude down here from New Orleans, Louisiana, somewhere. Uh, you know what was funny, right? When she asked me, she said she was asking me about my status as far as like I still paper or not. I was like, nah. And she was like, well, what was it like? Like when you had to transition. I was like, well, I had to go here for a minute, and I was there, and then I transitioned from that situation into a house with her, into the family, like right. And so I was telling her because she understood, I was going through that, and
So we was just chopping it up, we was just friends, we met down there at the waste management, right? And just so happened she stayed in the same apartment my man stayed, and she spotted me. and anyway, so we chopped it up. And so she was just asking me on some real, like, man, tell me some real, I just need to ask you, I know you'll tell me the truth. Um, what you think? I said, I moved a dude down here. We was boyfriend, girlfriend for all these years, and then we fell out, whatever, right? He was locked up, he got out, and now I'm wondering if I to be with him or not.
I don't know who this is.
I'm making a final.
Thank you, Lord. I had to even answer.
So she basically was saying, what you think? You think I should
Do that
move
shit.
him down here with me? And I said, look, you got 2 little girls. I said, your house, man. Cause she invited me in for some pizza one night, and I seen how peaceful her household was, right? And I was saying to myself, man, you know what? You're a good sister. I'm looking at what you're doing for your little girls. I'm looking at their hair. I'm looking at her. I'm checking them out. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at them play together. I'm looking, they happy. They don't look stressed out. You don't look stressed out. You ain't got nobody. And don't mess your house up.
And that's what the fuck it do too.
And I told her, I said, man, now watch. If you bring this dude down here, you're gonna mess him up and you up. Don't mess him up. Let him stay where he at. Cause if you bring him out here thinking you're gonna be able to help him, and you get him down here, and because this is what she told me. You already telling me he got Romanized. You already told me what's wrong. I mean, you told me what's right about what you like about him, what you don't like about him. It's a new word. But you told me you could tolerate it, and I'm thinking you can't tolerate it.
I think you're setting yourself up for failure.
Bingo. I think you make allowances that you really ain't. Because you mentioned it. It's an issue in your heart, because out of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yeah.
Out of the abundance of the heart.
Yeah. I'm right here.
And so,
where do you get that scripture from, kid?
So it's like your mouth. You'd already told me. You know what I'm saying? What you thought about him? Your perspective. And because you're telling me your perspective, I'm saying, okay, well, you already see him in a certain light. I don't care if he in that light or not. I don't even know him. But you just told me the light you seen him in. And because you already told me the light you seen him in, I can tell you.
That's what TD. What y'all get a popsicle? No, I don't want one. You want popsicle?
No, I take some water.
Some water? You got a bottle of water in the refrigerator?
Yeah, you can focus on my second.
And bring me that big one too. Shit. I ain't had water in about 6 months.
What, girl? Everybody, you need water. Anyway, because that's how the signals work. Allison.
What?
That's how your body works with the universe.
What?
Water is the current, is the conductor.
I be drinking all kind of shit. I drink alkaline water and shit. This right here is just an electrohydrate because I ain't been drinking no water, so I gotta extra do that shit.
Yeah, big time.
Wait till Debo, get one of them black trays and put your mama a good bit of chicken in there so she can
But where was we at? Because what I seen is when she was telling me that, I was looking at him. I didn't look for. I looked at her house.
He was there?
No. I looked from his. I looked from the angle that she didn't see from. And I said, hey,
you mapped the whole nigga out.
Right, and she had already seen you, right? when I first made the point about hey, your house already, I've been in there. It's already peaceful.
What you gonna fuck it up for?
You bring him down there, and you already got issues. You already got baggage.
I don't like it.
You're gonna bring him here, and y'all it's gonna start off great. Y'all gonna be intimate. I want y'all to get past that stage of romance and everything, and because it's more to it than that. And once you start seeing what you don't like and focusing on what you don't like as opposed to what you do like, then you're gonna the energy is gonna change. It's gonna change the energy in the house. And
So would you recommend grape or strawberry peach?
To who? I don't like grapes, so I would be.
Grape is disgusting.
Like, I mean, if you know that you eat grape, why wouldn't you eat grape if you know other people don't like it? Did you come to the pool? No. Tita ain't been to that pool yet. Tita got issues with pool.
You never been there. You promised us like. Oh.
I ain't promised shit. I said I ain't say nothing about going to.
No, your words was maybe or.
Yeah, say that shit then. Don't lie on me.
All right.
Don't lie. See,
you know, I ain't been to the pool in forever.
Huh?
I ain't been to the pool in forever.
I don't even fucking. I mean, I'm not interested in this shit. I've been around that shit. And I mean, it don't. I'm just not that person.
You know what's funny? I was saying, I was tripping on that, right? We was talking about joy tolerance, right? We was talking about looking at different life perspective, different angles. Allison, listen, you know why I took you. Go ahead.
You gonna take the trash out for me? Sure. I know you gonna want something, nigga. I know you do.
Yeah. I took you to heaven for a reason.
Well, yeah. I asked you how KJ was gonna get
Hey, but I took you there for a reason to show you a different perspective, right? Like when I started looking at life, like I got outside the norms, like what I've been used to, or what I've been allowing myself to. Same prison.
Yeah. Wow.
I walk around the same cell for a long time. You walk around the same cell in your life. I said to myself when I was inside, that people more cultivated on the outside than we is on the inside.
You said some shit that sparked a memory. Me and Coach started talking on the phone and shit, right? And he each other, but not like that. And one day, you know, he'll always send me a picture of how his apartment would look or something, you know, send me pictures of what he was doing, and I do the same thing. One day I sent him a picture of the house, and I think that's what really fucked me up, because you can't let people fucking have that control by what they say. He said, that place looked like a prison. And I don't understand what that fucking meant. He said it looked like a prison. And I don't know if he was being pessimistic, because he's very pessimistic, right? Ask your sister to do it. Get at the Courtney and ask her to open it.
Have a cupcake because those taste weird. It tastes like tangy.
You want a cupcake because you want a cupcake. They don't come with the game.
I tried those already.
But it don't matter. If you want a cupcake, you just want a cupcake. Go in the kitchen with that because it look like it's about to spill.
Can you open it?
No, babe, I say tell your sister because she used the scissors to open it. Quinny, open that for my boy. Open that for your brother.
How do you open it?
That's nasty. Listen, you can have cupcakes, but don't say it's because you don't want a freeze pop. Just say I want a cupcake. Why? Why was it hard for you to say it?
Because yesterday I did try them and they taste weird.
But you just want a cupcake.
Did you open it? Yeah, the cupcake because I want a cupcake. Please, you didn't open it. You tried. Please, Mom.
I don't.
No, please, you won't like it. Please.
No.
Mama, it's Welch's. Look, it's Welch's. It's good. Come on. I'm slip some in your drink when not.
That's why I be sick to the stomach and shit too. Y'all trying to kill me.
I didn't do. Oh, I
Yes, you did. You mixed tea and.
That was leftover. I didn't know that.
It don't matter. That shit kill me.
No.
You got a free spot.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
You already opened it. Mine not even open. No, I'm just gonna come. No, you can't. Mine not even open.
You know, but it's funny, right?
Move that basket.
Mama, mine came with 2 rings.
Take that basket out the middle of the floor right there and put it in the kitchen by the washer so I can wash it.
Okay. Mama, can you please move that basket?
It's like the energy in the house, right? Right here, right now. You can feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's like
It be different.
you can feel it, right? You can feel it when people come.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to when nobody here.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you know, when it's a good energy and it's a good vibe, or, you know, when it's thick and tense and everybody feel it. It's quiet, it's no everybody walking light footed. You know, like what their name called. Call my name, man. Let me just get through here. And they stopping to get those teachers. They like, it's that time. You know? It's like, man, they tripping. You know, and so it's like, if anything, when it comes, it's more of a trying to be peaceful. It's kind of trying to diffuse the distraction, whatever, to diffuse the situation, but to bring the peace back.
Yeah, because you so fucking high and arguing and
Exactly.
fuck up the whole environment.
And it changes everybody's mood, spirit. And that's what I was saying. Hey, you don't want to do that. It's like, man, you don't want to do that. And so when she's asked, so I didn't have to drive that point home. You know what I mean? She was like, oh, right. I forgot about that. Yeah, you just think about talking about
Skip, come on out that blind.
And even when I made her look, now I want you to look from his perspective. You bring him down here, right? You put him in, and then you tell him to get out. Or you ready? You know, you can't take him off. Where you going? It's like, where is this man going? You set him up for failure. If you really care about him, and you really want him to be successful, you really want him to make a difference in his life, don't bring him down. Let him be with him. Y'all had a long distance relationship. If it's been working all this time, man, stick to what work. You know, change the formula. You know, but if it don't work, change the formula. You know what I mean? So just
Formula X.
see, and you know when the time gonna come.
I'm good.
When the time comes.
I'm good. Listen, my hands up, don't shoot.
See?
I'm staying over here.
See?
I'm good.
But even not that time. I'm talking about.
You know, I niggas get real stupid real quick when I stop though.
But you know what? That should show you something. Worth, value. Or does it mean ownership and possession? You know, in that from that perspective.
I've been through both of them.
Yeah.
A couple times on these.
Right.
You know,
it's like which one is it? Is
it could be both.
Yeah.
It could be the worth and the value is lost, and then it's just possession.
Yeah. Yeah. Ownership.
No. Put that basket in the kitchen. Help her put that basket in the kitchen. I've seen it from some of the realest sides and some of the sides that been like, I don't want you, but I don't want nobody around.
I had to ask myself that question. That question a few times. And that's why I asked you that, right? Because I wanted to see if you seen it, but from your angle, your perspective. But
That's all
I
right.
had to ask myself, man, dude, am I tripping because of this or that? You know what I'm
What
saying?
one was it? Oh, you
It
don't
just
know
depends on which
which
situation.
situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see?
Maybe that was a smart answer because I'd have said the same shit.
Yeah,
It depends on which
yeah.
situation.
It's like I mean,
What?
I stabbed myself in the side with the camera.
Better they fucking calling than me. Because I don't fight fair. The car is stationary. It ain't going nowhere.
No, you just wanted it.
It'll just fuck you up on the slick because it know it got to be there regardless.
You get a cupcake, and then you won't get that. I know.
yeah.
Okay, I'm in here talking though. You could go by, see you later. Go clean up y'all mess, do your chores, and go by, see you later.
Watch TV and cover it later.
Oh, Jesus. This is why I pray. Because it's a blessing.
Peter's up, Paul, drop out.
That's healthy manipulation. So I don't have to whip their ass. Not just.
But you know what? But it's good though. You know what I'm saying? Because you see the difference. You know what I'm saying? It was like see the difference in reality. And that's the truth is sometimes it's the best light. It's like, man, wow, I like this. Yeah. Well, you can have
It's
it.
tax free weekend.
You know, when you can handle the truth, you know, sometimes when you're rigid, it's too much. You know, but going back to ownership and position, I had to ask myself, depending on the situation at the time, you know, because I think both of us is important. You know what I'm saying? Me and Liddy been together twice. So,
You're so funny.
so that's why I say, it depends on which time.
No, I think you're so funny because
Yeah.
I was like, that was so we was together more than once.
See? I'm like, which time, which situation?
No.
It's like, man,
Who
because
calling me from? Cornelia, you calling me? Who you calling me? Somebody calling me from a private number. I refuse to lose, nigga, not this time. Well, I said no.
that's fine.
I got my phone.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
What was Devo?
People don't have to call me from a private number. Nobody got to call me from a private number.
You should have my number saved. You do?
I do. Y'all go finish. I'm sorry. What you thinking?
So yeah, that was like, you know, that was like
Stop.
you know, just knowing that she, you know, she thought about what I said, and I asked her later on. I said, no, what did you decide? She said, nah, he good. You know, you know, he can stay where he at. You know, because you're right. That is the best thing for him. Because I didn't want to mess up the house, but she turned right around
And did you anyway?
and brought her cousins in.
Oh, that was just the damn thing. It
And
wasn't about being a nigga. It was about being anybody else.
See, and it's males, right?
Male?
It was two. At first, it was her brother.
Quincy, go sit down.
Staying
Or go
with her.
upstairs.
First, it was her brother staying with her. And then I seen one day she was upset. That's how I ended up going in the house eating pizza.
Damn.
Because she was talking about her gas. She needed some gas or something, and I took a gas can up to the store and got gas for her, right? And so she was like, later on, you know, she was like, you wanna? She was telling me about her brother. She was like, he ain't paid me on my rent and this that and his half and this that and other, right? And he just skipped town. And she was like, man, that was my light bill money and this that and the other. Now my lights out, something like that, right? So I seen right then how messed up she was about, you know, being in a situation where you got somebody in your house, you know, and now you mad he gone. And so then when you asked me about this dude, I'm thinking, man, you didn't just go through that? This ain't even been a week. And now you know, after I tell her, nah, don't do that. Then you turn right around and say, yeah, okay, ain't gonna do that, and you bring your cousins in. Now one of them end up leaving or whatever, but all of them, but they want it.
oh, they on the run and they gangsters. You know what I'm saying? They doing dirt. And it's like, man, how'd you bring this riffraff in your house? And then so I'm listening at how him and her was talking one day when they asked me about giving them a jump for the car. And I'm thinking the way he was talking to her, get in the house, get in the house. I got this. Come on now. I'm thinking, hey, you know, why'd you bring this to your house? You know what I'm saying? She went on in the house like, and I didn't know if she was going in the house because I was standing there, you know, and she just didn't want to make a scene and argue with him, or if that's the way it was, you know, she's scared of him in some way. So I'm thinking, man, why'd you put yourself in this? You know, after we just talked about this, and now if you're in a situation where anyway she ended up moving when he a good dude though, but he has his flaws, and I think I know she want to do good. It's family. She's from the same place you from, so that's why I asked you about y'all spirit. You know what I mean? I think y'all got a different spirit, a different vibe from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Yeah, we do. Get back, bruh.
Yeah.
Get from over here.
And I think because of that, and so that went back to when you were saying earlier about about
I do want this to be blown out so we don't use all of it.
that's why when you were saying earlier about your nature.
Not all the way. Don't worry about just making
Yeah, about like the nature. You know, things that that some people mistake.
Yeah.
You know.
I still don't know, like, how to tell you exactly when I have mood swings. That's what it is. Because I go so hard for what I believe in. And the disappointment sets me so far back. I don't know how to deal with the disappointment. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. The disappointment factor.
That's steady coming.
Yeah?
Huh?
Yeah?
Yeah, you know.
But that's what it is. I go through the.
He needs a shot.
People say, no, you don't.
He needs a shot because he's sick and he didn't eat his
Mom said, go sit down somewhere. No, you the fuck you don't. I'm watching this nigga. And he's spoiled. He's fucking sad.
Why he's sad? You need someone to play with?
Y'all all in a fight with the nigga. See, sometimes he don't need to fight. He just need to chill. Let him be.
Yeah. So I think it's
difficult too.
yeah. What you said is difficult. What is?
The mood swing. So people say it's a mood swing, right?
Yeah.
It's not a mood swing. It's like a fucking. Say, bruh. Hey, sit down. Sit down. And stay there and leave my shit alone. I don't need you licking on nothing or touching on nothing. This dog make my fucking nerves bad. I just will sit here, right? Because I don't want to be as smart as I am sometimes. And I know and I'm not saying that because I'm rejecting however I am. And like the spirituality, you know what, I was called out of my motherfucking name. Y'all do, man, if y'all don't get y'all asses down here. With the,
Yeah.
come on, get up, put this over here. Well, go over there and do it. I don't need you up in here. Stop. Move from over here. Sit down. Sit your ass down. For real? So, I don't know. I go into some shit, but it's not because of. It's the fucking sheer fact that I drain myself to the point where I can't even go no more because when I go hard, I go so fucking hard, and I got so many people that's waiting on me from the time before, you know what I'm saying? It fucks me up. Like I'm always playing catch up. I'm always playing fucking catch up because I done fucked up somewhere. I done went through and it's not always, it's like sometimes it be some real life serious ass shit that happen that I don't talk to nobody about. I'm going through it and I'm trying to keep up with the fucking appearance. It get harder and harder to fake that shit. It's like an act.
Yep.
And when it come back to Louisiana part of it, I think that we have a deeper spirituality.
Yeah.
More
I think so too. Yeah, I really do. Hey, you want to know? I really do too because I think that.
You gonna watch this?
Yeah, just send to me.
Okay. Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, so what's
Wait, I'm gonna see. There you go, good message right there. Let me see, beautiful. I don't know what I just did, Karen. What's up? I said I don't know what I just did, but I'm sending it to you. Google Plus, I think. Just posting it.
Yeah,
That's
man, I
it.
think y'all spiritual vibe is different. You know, I don't know whether it's because you know, like the first people that came to my land back then might have been it was French and Haitian
My family, my father's side come from Nova Scotia, from up Canada. Nova Scotia is up that way. So he a Frenchman, he a Creole. My dad still speak French. They don't, you can barely understand that nigga when you hear him on the phone.
And West Indies, right? They came from West Indies. I think a lot of people that went to Louisiana.
From the West Indies?
Yeah.
I guess right. When New Orleans, yeah, but my family was in New Orleans and like the 18. My aunt was born out there in the country in Chacahula. So in Chacahula, they more Indian. My family's last name on my grandmother's side is Gibson. The place that I'm from is called Gibson. And it was the Gibson Indians that lived in that area. So that's a part of it. My aunt. Yeah. So, and my grandmother Annie Toot, she was a white woman who was messing with a nigga who got in trouble and cast out and shit like this here. So that's as far as I go. Besides my grandfather's, who he was supportedly from Jamaica, right? And my grandmother, who had the Indian background, married him. But at the same time, come to find out, he wasn't from Jamaica. He was from somewhere here, but I know. He ain't gonna pee on shit. Open that back door and make sure that back gate clean. Closed the right way. Don't call him. Go out there and check it first. Go check it and see. I don't trust that dog and I don't trust Debo and I damn sure don't trust you.
Yeah, so, and I see it, you know, I keep seeing that same trait about characteristic
It's good.
But it gives you premonitions. I know that sounds crazy.
Oh, yeah.
It gives you foresight. I can't find it. It gives you things that you wouldn't normally have, and people find that shit scary. Cause like I'll be dead asleep, bro. I don't know if I ever told you this. I was dead fucking asleep. I was dead asleep, Karen.